how did the last 10 years happen and how did you survive? I know that's impossibly broad, but, Mike, can you speak to that?
Wow. Well, with a lot of careful effort and talking to each other, I think, and hopefully having as clear lines of communication and open lines of communication between each other as possible. And that's still an effort, but I think we take the time to want to find solutions for the stuff that goes on in our band if there's issues and problems and things. Because I think we love each other, and I know we love each other, and I love playing music with these guys. So there's love and there's understanding and there's commitment, I think, and all of those kind of things that have helped us, and a lot of luck too, probably some timing.
Mm-hmm. Cameron, I was talking to somebody about this movie last night, and she was saying, well, it sounds fascinating, but where does this fit in Cameron Crowe's career?
Right at the top.
Thank you, Eddie. Agree.
So where does it fit in your career?
I've always just wanted to be lucky enough to tell a good story. And I always felt the story of Pearl Jam is a great story. And it's beyond just a rock story. In fact, it takes the usual rock story and turns it on its head. The usual rock story is incredible promise, brilliance maybe, tragedy cuts it short. And aren't we sad that we've lost this wonderful opportunity? Pearl Jam is exactly the opposite. It's a tragedy that was surmounted, and these guys found joy through survival and from studying what had happened before in rock with some of their heroes. And in some ways, it was a hard story to tell because it's a happy ending, and it's not even an ending. But what it is unique. And all these guys, I think you can tell, approached their interviews open-heartedly, wanted to just put everything out on the table. And even Jeff said early on, I hope there's a little bit of group therapy that happens here so I can learn a little bit about my band. And, every one of these guys, Mike, just poured his heart out. And we just, all of us, I think, wanted to tell the story of how the music came to mean so much today and tomorrow. And so I'm just lucky enough I had the opportunity to help tell the story.
So Jeff, was there group therapy in there? Did you learn about your band?
Well, I was listening to what Mike said earlier about how we've, been able to get through things by talking and stuff. And, really that first 5 or 6 years, there wasn't a lot of talking. A lot of times we would just put our heads down and kind of get to the next place and kind of look at one another, and we were just kind of holding on. I don't remember a whole lot of conversations about what we were going through at the time because we didn't know what we were going through. And I think that's the beauty of watching this movie and kind of trying to make sense a little bit of that first 5 to 10 years. And but I haven't seen all the interview stuff but that was the thing that I got excited about when Cameron said, I want to interview you guys, and I was like, I was just curious, like good and bad, like to hear, Stone say they didn't want to be in a band with me anymore, and that stuff was all good because when that was all going down, we weren't talking with one another. We'd take a bike ride every day, like after Andy died, and we'd hang out for 2 or 3 hours, but we really wouldn't really talk about anything, And I would sort of know, I would prod like, hey, I heard you're playing some music, and he'd be like, yep. and that was, but so it's been great to see a little bit of what, just how we feel about one another, because I think we occasionally tell each other, but we're guys.
See, this. They had to pry this movie out of my hands. This could have easily been Pearl Jam 22 or 3, because this is great. And I actually, watching the movie tonight, I thought, damn, I had a great opportunity to ask Eddie a question, and I blew it.
Ask him now.
Okay, when you're on the plane.
Who made you, what?
Okay, Okay,
supposed to
director's
moderate.
cut. Thank you. When you're on the plane coming up from San Diego to Seattle for the first time, like, what are you thinking? Are you thinking it could go either way, or are you thinking, I know in my heart this is going to work?
I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm on a plane. I offered to drive. Who are these guys that can afford a plane ticket? That's what I was thinking.
Wow. Okay, director's cut.
And
This is good.
And maybe, and then like, well, no, I wouldn't say that. I was gonna say, don't fuck this up. But no, didn't I? I made like I took a razor blade. That's back when you can bring razor blades on planes, because I would do collages from the. I did some crazy collage, and I was just excited to play music. I'd been in a few different groups with some people that. You know, the nature of being in bands, you try to write stuff or you play some covers or do whatever, and you have stylistically you try to figure, but it never felt like anything real. It never felt like anything that wasn't highly derivative of something else. And when I had heard the music that I got through Jack Irons, which is the demo stuff, that instrumental stuff that Matt Cameron had played on, it was, I just heard something that I had never heard before. And to be able to be part of that, and really not knowing what would happen, you know, I thought I would have a week in Seattle, and it was like an art project, just like the razor blade collage. It was just like an art project.
I think we can open it up to some audience questions, right?
Hi, how are you? Juan Carlos from Mexico. I would like to know, at this point of your career, how do you feel? How do you see maybe 10 years from now, still playing, doing something else?
I think the same thing, just better. You know, I think we'll just keep getting better. And maybe just try to push the boundaries musically. I don't see stopping. I don't think any of us see stopping. And I think everyone's doing things outside of the group too, which I think is really healthy. So by the time we get back, we're excited to be back. You know, to not, you know, some groups will have like a record and then they'll tour for 2.5 years, and then they'll need to take 2 years off because they don't want to see each other, or they're just so wrecked and exhausted. And I think whatever way we're doing it, you know, it's still kind of reaching out in the dark, but it seems to be working. So it's not like you have a formula, but you've got something that you know. We just want to stay healthy. We have families. We want to just, we want to be dependable to not only each other, but, you know, the audience.